then people will just keep hopping on or watch the recording. So tonight we're just going to talk about how to enroll customers, and I have 3 leaders of mine that are just going to touch base on like literally everything that they do, like from messaging, following, how to talk to people, some conversations, and things like that. So I'm not going to talk much because they're going to do all the talking and sharing the tips with you guys. So I'm going to have Sasha go first, and then I'll just have Britt and Gabby go after.
Hi.
Hey.
Okay, so ever since like I fully started, taking this business seriously and really making sure that my enrollments were going up, I started like getting tips from everybody, like how they were enrolling customers. And obviously like I put my own spin on things, right? So did I really know how to word everything at first? No, but it took a lot of trial and error. And once I started, seeing results, I started keeping with the same wording. So for me personally, something that works for me is always asking for a budget. That's for me and my business. It works for me. It works for some girls on my team. Other girls on my team, it doesn't really work that well for them. Some of them don't ask for a budget and it works great for them. So you kind of have to play around with it, figure out what works for you. So every single day, biggest thing is making sure that you're posting, because if you're not posting, nobody really is going to know what you're selling. You know what I'm saying? If I never posted about the products, nobody would ever know what this business entailed. You know what I mean? Like they don't know if I was selling essential oils or if I was selling, I don't even know what else, like candles, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they wouldn't know. So it's so important for you guys to post about it. Utilize your Insta story. Like Insta story is so amazing. Like you don't have to post those, spammy before and after pictures on your actual feed. You're able to post it on your story, and you're able to post it so many times. Utilize that. Also on your feed, you can also post them there. You know what I'm saying? Get the best of both worlds. Make sure you guys are posting. Another important thing is make sure you guys are constantly following. If you don't have new people to talk to or new people to reach out to constantly, you can't be just going back to your same market over and over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like beating a dead horse. You have to get a bigger audience, because you never know who's going to be interested, especially like right on the spot. With that being said, I try to message between 1 to 200 brand new people every single day. And with that, obviously you have to be following a lot of people. So I make sure that I message. Before I even start messaging, I come up with a goal for the day. So whether it's, getting 2 DTs and 3 LCs or getting 5 LCs or, whatever my goal is for the day, I make sure I set the tone for my day before I even start messaging. I'm not going to just message pointlessly, because then, I'm not going to be working with intention. And working with intention is so, so powerful, because you could sit there and message all day long because somebody told you to go message, because that is what's going to make you successful. But if you have no intention and no goal in mind, it's not going to lead anywhere, because you don't have that sense of urgency to make sure that you're enrolling and fast starting people and building your team and promoting. You know what I'm saying? Like you really don't have that sense of urgency. So like I said, before I start messaging, I always set a goal for myself for the day, because that is what I want to be working towards every single day. And that keeps me super, pumped up. It keeps me motivated. And it keeps me going forward, because let's be honest, like people don't answer and people tell us no. People ignore us, and it's not a big deal. But if you don't have those goals, you're going to give up so much easier. So obviously I message on Instagram. As soon as somebody answers, whether it's, yeah, I'm super interested, what are the products? Maybe, sure. As long as it's not like a bold-faced no, I say, what's your number? I'll text you more info so it's easier than DM. If you're nervous about asking for numbers, don't be. And the only, reason people wouldn't be comfortable giving you their number is if you felt uncomfortable asking for their number. So if you think it's a big deal, they're going to think it's a big deal. If you don't think it's a big deal, they're not going to think it's a big deal. And I know that sounds like so crazy, but like the law of attraction, it's so true. Like attracts like, you're attracting what you're putting out. So if you're nervous, they're going to be nervous. So unless they say no, like I said, I always ask for their number. As soon as I ask for their number, they give it to me, I text them. If they don't give me their number, like literally if they just don't answer me, or if they're like, no, I'm not giving you my number, for me personally, I found that if I just let it go, they always come back to me and give me their number. So whether it's going to take them a day or two or a week of watching me, they always come back and are like, okay, here's my number, I'm interested. Or they'll comment on my Insta story and be like, oh my God, I'm so interested. And again, I will ask for their number and they give it to me, right?
Wait, Sash, I'm going to cut you off for a second. I love that because I have so many of my distributors that I say, ask for the number, ask for the number. They're like, they don't give it to me. They don't give it to me. It works for you, but it doesn't work for me. Guys, trust me. Like when I say that it works for me, do it. Like you have to just be confident about asking for their number. And what Sasha said, like, okay, leave it. Like leave it at that. It sucks sometimes to leave it, but they're going to come back. They want the product from you. So I love that. I love that you said that.
Thanks. And I've noticed that like I've tried a few times to like go with the conversation through Instagram, but they always end up ignoring me anyway. And then it gets lost through my DMs because your DMs should get lost because you should be messaging so many people that like you can't even keep up, you know?
I love that. Like that's so true. Like you're literally like speaking to like me to speak through my distributors. It's so true because then they're like, oh, I don't want to like ignore them because they could be a potential. Well, yeah, but then you start talking to them on DM and they ignore you anyways, and it gets lost and it gets messy and it gets unorganized. Like it's so much easier having it on your phone to be able to just follow up with them from there. So I love that.
Yeah, exactly. And they're always going to end up coming back anyway. So anyway, so then I get their number and I text them. I'm like, hey, it's Sasha from Insta. I like to keep it very personal with them. After that, I'm like, how are you? They're like, I'm good. And I'm literally just going to walk through a typical conversation. So I'll be like, how are you? They're like, I'm good. How are you? I say, I'm great. Thank you. I'm so excited to give you more info and get you started on these amazing products. I wait for them to respond to me. They're like, oh my God, yeah, I'm so excited. Or they're like, what are the products? Or yeah, I'd like some more info. Yeah, I've been watching your Instagram. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for reaching out. I give them like the list of products, the script that like, so they're all natural health and wellness products, blah, 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 blah. And it always leads off or it finishes off with a question because you don't want to just, drop a big statement on them and not get a response in return. But if you're asking a question, you're going to get a response, right? So then they're like, oh my God, yeah, this sounds great. This sounds great. This sounds great. Or sometimes I get people that are like, oh my God, those all sound great. But that doesn't really give me like a lot to work with if they're going to tell me it all sounds great. Okay, well, that's 50 different products. You know what I'm saying? So then I say, great. Like, what are the top 3 things that you want to focus on? Because let's be honest, they're going to be like, oh, I want weight loss. We have literally such a broad spectrum of weight loss products for them. You know what I'm saying? So they give me the things that they're interested in. I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so excited to help. You always want to make it about the customer. You always want to be excited about them. And you want to work so closely with them and you want to build that relationship. And for me personally, like, I don't like to spend so much time on conversations with them, not because I'm selfish with my time or anything like that, but because let's be honest, like people have busy schedules. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not going to spend 5 hours talking to you about like one product. You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, anytime I've ever bought from like network marketing, because I've ordered from other girls before, because I want to try out their stuff. And I love like the quickness of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I love when I can just talk to them and then like 5 to 10 minutes order, right? That's what I like because I have a busy schedule too. I don't have time to just sit there and chat all day long, right? So I like to make it right to the point. Let's get down to it, blah, 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 whatever. So I ask them what they're interested in and I ask for a budget. I say, what's your monthly budget? I'm going to customize a 3-month plan just for you. Once again, making it right about them. So if they said like weight loss and then they were like, oh, my budget's 75. First thing that I ask is, do you love coffee? Because coffee is something that I'm personally so obsessed with, right? I love our coffee. I'm obsessed with it. If they say yes, I'm like, oh my God, perfect. Girl, I am like obsessed with my coffee. Always make it relatable. And that's where, being a product of the product comes in. You know what I'm saying? Like I've said this before and for the entire first year of my business, I never used the products. I had no idea what we were really selling. And so obviously I didn't feel confident with the products because I didn't use them. And when I when I finally started using the products, it literally like changed my life, right? Because now I can talk so confidently about them. Like I love our skincare line. I love our coffee. I love our like confianza. I love literally everything that we have. I love it. Right. And, so then I'm like, oh my God, like I'm so obsessed with the coffee. I know you're going to love it. So our skinny mocha coffee includes our chocolate greens and our keto coffee. I spaced it out. I give them a little blurb of each. I send some result pictures, right? Literally, they always answer me and they're like, oh my God, that looks so good. I'm like, I know, I'm so excited. I'm always like super excited. I always use a ton of emojis, a ton of explanation points, because if somebody was texting me, it was like super like blah and boring, I just like wouldn't want to order. You know what I'm saying? They're not excited for me. I'm not really going to get excited. Your vibe literally feeds into your customers, right? So make sure you guys are super excited and super like ready, you know? So then they're like, oh my God, this is amazing, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I know, I'm so excited for you. And then I say, yay, I'd love to send you my site now and help you order super quick. It honestly takes no more than 5 minutes and you can do it right from your phone. Are you ready to process it now? And I always, you know, make it super urgent, like right now. You know, I'm not asking to send you my site for you to look it over and just send me a confirmation screen whenever. No, it's very urgent. It's like right now. Are you ready to do it right now? If they say yes, I say, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Because when you're in like a state of mind of gratitude, everything just comes to you so much easier, right? Instead of being like, oh my God, I really hope they order, just be like, thank you, because you already should know that they're going to order. You have that confidence, okay? And so then I say, oh my God, thank you so much. I send my site, I send the steps to order. If I don't get the Airworks Office app pop up within 10 minutes, I say, are you finding everything okay? They don't answer me within 10 minutes of that, I send them question marks. If they don't answer me within 10 minutes of that, I either send them like a GIF or like, hello, LOL. And then if they don't answer me then the next morning, I'm like, so sorry. Did I catch you at a bad time? They don't answer me by the next night. I'm like, or did I just like piss you off? And I know that might seem so like out there, but you want to know what? People answer that. People are like, oh my God, no, I'm so sorry to offend you. I just wasn't ready, but I'll be ready tomorrow. I'm like, okay, awesome. Like, not a problem. What time should I text you? And they're like, oh my God, text me at this time. And that's the exact time I'm going to text them. And I always actually like look at area codes too, because, you know, you don't want them to say 6, but they're actually in like California. So then you text them at 3 and then you're like, oh my God, why aren't you ordering? So always check the time zone. If somebody doesn't answer me at any point of that like conversation, by the end of the night, I say, how does that sound? So if I just sent them like, so they're all natural health and wellness products, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, how does that sound? If I'm at the point of I send them the results and like the script of what they're going to use, you know, I say, you know, how does that sound? Like, you always just want to keep the conversation going. There's really no perfect wording for everything. You have to find what works for you. Just have a normal conversation with them. You know what I'm saying? Now say for instance, like, you know, you were gonna like have somebody order like cleanse and thermal fight, right? But they're like, oh, you know, I actually can't order until Friday. Be like, okay, not a problem. Here's what I can do for you. Engage on one product today, and then on Friday we can add on the rest. This way it secures your spot. That has worked really well for me too. And then that's like really it. Like, there's really no, you know, magic behind somebody enrolling all the time. I still have people ignoring me all the time. I still have people saying they're going to order and then they block me. I still have people not answering me. I'm still like blowing up people's phone and they literally don't give me the time of day. But you have to keep going. Like, this is a numbers game. The more people that you're going to talk to, the more success you're going to see. You know, you can't talk to 10 people a day and be like, oh gosh, like, I wonder why I didn't find any like customers. You know, talk to more people. If it takes you 100 to get one, talk to 100. Because all the work that you're putting in now is totally going to pay off. Like, I can't even tell you how many times like I've sent my steps to order and I don't hear from them and I don't hear from them and I don't hear from them. One day, all of a sudden, I get like the thanks for your order screen. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I blew you off for 3 months, but here's my like thanks for your order screen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and then I get so hyped because it's like that totally paid off. That day when I was like super mad at her for not ordering and just like leading me on, totally paid off 3 months later. You know what I'm saying? Or like I'll have girls still coming to me from my Insta stories be like, I'm so sorry. I know I've been ignoring you, but I'm finally ready to order. You know what I mean? Like, those things pay off so hard, and that's why it's so important to keep going every single day. So instead of getting frustrated when it just doesn't go your way and you know, almost wanting to like give up because you're like, oh my God, everybody's saying no, nobody wants to order, blah, 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 blah. honey, there's people ordering every single day. There's literally so many people ordering every single day. So if that is your mindset that people aren't ordering, realize that that is your mindset. That is not everybody else's mindset. Okay. So you just got to keep going. So numbers game, talk to more people. Like, I think that's it. I just get so fired up in these.
You're so funny. You get me like freaking pumped up every time you speak.
Thanks.
You're great. I literally loved like the phone number part. Like I feel like I struggle with that with so many of my girls, and I'm like, just listen to me, please. I'm telling you, it's been working for me, and sometimes I know it's frustrating because it doesn't work for them, but like if it works for me, it's going to work for you too. So, just always trust your upline and what they're saying. So I'm going to have Brooke speak now, and thanks so much for sharing your tips. Gosh. Sorry, I was like stuttering there.
So I'm going to feed off of Sasha a little bit and go back to how she was talking about how it pays off when people are ignoring you. So I actually just got a text like 10 minutes ago. I had been following up with this girl, I kid you not, 6 times. I can scroll for like minutes. The last we talked was in November 15th. And today she just texted me 10 minutes ago telling me, I'm so sorry I've been ignoring you, but I plan on ordering this Friday. So guys, when you're getting frustrated, like Sasha said, you just have to realize sometimes it's not the right time for people. They're going through things. It's not that they don't believe in our products. It's not that they don't think that they work. It's other things in their lives. So it's important that you're always consistent with them, because when they are ready, because they will be, if they were interested once, they're always going to be interested. They're going to order. And if you're not the one consistently following up with them, they're going to order with somebody else. So the reason she texted me back was because I just touched base with her on Friday. I sent my follow-up. Every Friday, if I haven't heard from somebody in a while, I rotate them through so I'm not constantly sending the same message to people. But like every 2 weeks, I'm sending anybody that I have their contact a message saying, hey, I have new openings. So it's just so important that you realize that you're not going to sign everybody up that second when you first get their number. Most people need 5 to 8 times of following up before they're going to actually order. So you just have to stay consistent with that. Because like I said, if you don't sign them up, I'm going to. Somebody else is going to. They're going to touch base with them, and they're going to be ready at that moment. So that's super important to like just put into perspective. It's also, I feel like a lot of people get, like I know back when I first started, I would get discouraged because I would see my upline enrolling and I wasn't really enrolling, and I didn't really understand it. And it all came down to mindset, guys. You have to just, like Sasha was talking about, when you're asking somebody for their number, if you're nervous about it, they're going to feel that, and they're not going to give it to you. If you're telling them about a product and you're nervous about the product and you're not really sure about the product, they're going to feel that. If you're not excited, they're going to feel that. So it's all about confidence. It's all about just acting like, even if you don't really know all the products, talk to your upline, get information, get their scripts until you understand it and can put your own sass and attitude into it, so that they're feeling that there's excitement, that there's somebody that's knowledgeable, that they can trust you, so that they want to enroll with you. I wouldn't want to personally enroll with anybody that didn't know what they were talking about or seemed kind of blah. It wouldn't be somebody I would be able to rely on, so why would I enroll with them? So it's important that you're personable. It's important that you're showing them that you know what you're talking about, that you believe in the product, and then they're going to believe in the product, and they're going to want to buy from you.
I'm going to cut you off real quick, Britt, because I know me and you talk about this a lot, like adding exclamation points, adding emojis. Like, that's so important. Like, I don't know about you, but like if someone texts me and they're just like, okay, like I'm like, are they pissed off at me? Like, are they mad? Like, did I do something? Like, I always send it's funny because I even send exclamation points when I'm like just talking to like Britt or Sasha, like casually, like you need to like be excited. Even if you're not excited at that moment texting them, pretend like you're hiding behind a screen, put emojis, put exclamation points. Like if you're just acting blah, like people aren't going to want to talk to you. Like, and when people send me conversations and they're just like, yeah, it's amazing, you're going to love it, but like no emojis and no exclamation points, I'm like, if I were texting that person, I would not want to order from them because that just seems boring and blah. Like she doesn't seem excited about a product she's trying to sell me on it. Like you're trying to sell people. Like you don't want to like act like you're not loving what you're talking about with people. So I love that you brought that up, Britt, because I know me and you talk about that a lot.
Yeah, wording is definitely everything, guys. I mean, if you're wording things and you're not putting those exclamations correctly, that's why you're getting the answers that you're getting. You know, people feed off of it. So it's very important that you're excited about what you're doing. It's also important to go off of vibes, guys. Like, I had a conversation today that some girl, well, I had two. So one of them was super easy. This girl was so fired up. She was so excited. She saw a hat that I put up. That one of my Facebook friends, we had a mutual friend in common, she was just ready to go. So of course I'm going to give her everything that I have. I mean, I'm going to offer her it and see what she takes. And then I had another, so she ordered 2 bags of keto coffee, greens, and a thermal fight. Then I had another customer where you can just feel that they're very on the fence. They're probably tight with money. You know, they just don't know if right now is the time for them. So instead of losing the deal altogether, I make sure that I'm able to at least sell them a product like Sasha was talking about. You know, I start with I always have my go-to products for weight loss. I love keto coffee, I love thermophyte, and I love greens. So those are my go-to. And then I start subtracting. Before the conversation ends and they try to end the conversation because that's too much money for them, I take one off and offer that to them. Well, you'll still get great results with these. And I explain them into more depth. If I say, you know what, why don't you just try one? See how you like it, and you can always add on. And I think it's super important because a lot of times we let the customers have like the last say in the conversation, and that's not how it should be. You should be taking lead. You should be controlling the conversation. You should be the one asking questions to keep that conversation going. So like I said, she wasn't probably going to order anything because I had offered her this huge package and it just wasn't for her. She didn't have the money for it. And she ended up getting one product. She got 1 bag of keto coffee. And that 1 bag of keto coffee is better than nothing. You know, 30 BB is better than 0 BB. So if you have to adjust your scripts to people, definitely do that. You have to kind of feel how the conversation's going, and you want to be in control of that conversation rather than the client being in control of that conversation. So I think that's super important to like just realize that, you know, feel the vibe. Definitely every conversation is different. You know, they're not like you have scripts from your uplines, but you have to tweak them according to conversations that you're having at the time. And then I guess the last thing that I talk about this so much, my team will know, consistency. You know, it's everything. If you're not posting, if you're not messaging, if you're not following up, you lose your rhythm. The people, like, yes, you'll have people you sign up on the spot, but majority of the time you're signing up people that you talked to 4 days ago, 3 days ago. So if you stop messaging one day or you stop following up one day, it throws off your whole rhythm. And then you're going to find that you're not enrolling for a couple days because now you've messed up your whole rhythm and now you're discouraged, probably not even working even more. So it's just important to stay in a routine. Keep doing exactly what you do every single day, because it's going to start to just be like this cycle of, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like a flow that you start to get, and all of a sudden you're enrolling every single day because you constantly have people you're talking to that you were talking to just a few days ago. So I think that's super important to realize. And also that people, you know, like you might look at your upline and think that they're enrolling so much and like they must have this magic trick, but it's really no magic trick, guys. They're just consistent and they're keeping their head right. You know, an hour ago, I was like in my own head, and all I had to do was talk to Nyara. You know, I got her on the phone and I was like, hey, like, what's wrong with me? And she was like, you just need to take a breath. Like, go watch some self-development, do something. Like, realize that it's in your head. And guys, I just enrolled 2 customers in the last hour. So it was in my head. You just have to get out of your own head.
No, literally, we spoke, and a minute later, you texted me. You were like, I got a customer. I'm like, wait, are you lying? Because like we just were talking about this.
Yeah, like so crazy, guys. And you like may not believe me, but like you just have to try it. You just have to get out of your head. You have to put on some self-development. You have to talk and surround yourself with people. Like, I know who to go to. You know, you have to find the person that helps you. Like, I go to my uplines, my side sisters, people that inspire me, and that's how I get out of my own head. You know, I throw in some self-development, and the next thing you know, I'm enrolling again. It's just sometimes we all, like even me and even Nara, have moments that we just like, you feel a defeat of some sort. And it might not, like, I don't even think it might have to do with this tonight. It had to do with other things in my life. I just needed like a reality check. So I think that's so important to realize that.
Also, too, Britt, I want to just go off of what you're saying real quick. It's so important to go to people who are going to lift you up. If you have someone that you're just going to go to complain to and they're going to be like, oh, I know, I suck. Like, I can't enroll either. Like, if you're going to someone, like, misery loves company. So if you're miserable, instead of going to look for someone else that's miserable and not enrolling, go look for someone that's going to lift you up. Because when Britt came to me, not that she was miserable, but she was like, I don't know what's going on. I lifted her up. You know, if you're going to go to someone that's going to just be like, yeah, I get it. I'm not enrolling either. I suck. Like, you have to find a new circle. You need to find new people to speak life into you, because if you don't have that person that you can go to that's going to be like, listen, like, I know you're amazing. Right now may be just kind of like a weird path, but just like get over it. Like, you can do it. Like, I know you can enroll. Don't have a person like that, you need to kind of reevaluate your little circle, because if you're going to someone and they're going to just be miserable with you, it's not going to work out. You're not going to be successful. You need to find someone that will lift you up and will pump you up, like I did with Britt. So you need to always make sure you're going to someone that's going to be your cheerleader, and not someone that's going to be like sitting on the sideline with you complaining about everything.
No, absolutely true. That's why, like, you have to know who that person is. And sometimes it just takes time. But I always know, no matter what, even if Naira was having her own things, that she was going to speak life into me. So it's important to find that. And I think that's all I have to say tonight.
Yeah, I love that. All of that was like so good. And I love how you guys just share different things. Like, it's so amazing how everyone just works their business. Like, we all work our business basically the same, but in so many different little ways. So I love that. So that's why I wanted to get obviously 3 different people on tonight, just to kind of go over different ways. So Gab, can you share kind of just what everyone's been sharing to, just your tips, like how you go about it, like messaging, things like that, just kind of like, so everyone can really understand, like, messaging, posting, following up, like how important all those steps are to lead you to enrolling.
Yeah, absolutely. So the biggest thing that I would say is consistency. Like, there is no, like we were saying before, what Britt said, I think Sasha said it too, there is no secret sauce. Like, you cannot come to me and ask me, like, what is the magic trick that you do that you enroll? Because I'm just going to tell you to put your head down and work. Like, that is what I tell all my girls. If you ask them, like, anybody who comes to me, I'm like, okay, well, what are you doing? The prime example was yesterday. One of my girls was like, I don't get what I'm doing wrong. I said, okay, well, like, show me. How much did you message today? Oh, I got out 20 messages. I said, on a bad day, I'm getting out 80 messages. On a bad day. On a good day, it's over 100. And if you guys don't have 100 people to message, you need to get 100 people to message. And it doesn't matter if it's brand new people or if it's unsend, resend. You need to keep the same momentum going every single day, like what Britt was saying. Like, so many people think that it's okay, like, I'll take a break today and everything. If you're not talking to someone every single day and someone new, you won't have a potential for tomorrow. Because 90%, and this is me, I don't know about you guys, but 90% of my sales are like the third day of speaking to them. Very rarely, someone's going to come to you say, hey, I have $111 to spend on a keto coffee and greens combo, sign me up. Like, very rarely. Somebody's going to message me off of my story, because I put on my story every single morning how I use keto coffee and greens, and say, okay, I'm kind of curious about this. Can we talk about it? Maybe getting back to me with their number takes an hour or two. So there you go. You already lost an hour or two. So if you're not doing everything every single day, you're losing time. Like, you're wasting time doing that. And that's like the simplest thing that I could say. There is nothing like I snap my fingers and these people come to me. You need to get more followers. New eyes is new money. Because if you're constantly selling to the same people over and over again, they're going to get tired of it. If they haven't bought already, they're probably not going to. So, but on the other end of the spectrum, the girl that I've been following up with since December 2017 just ordered like 2 weeks ago. So don't ever lose hope. Like, that's also a big thing. There are some days that I just like get so angry. I'm like, you could have answered me 6 months ago and just said, sorry, girl, like, right now is not a good time. But you left me on red 6 months ago. And here we are 6 months later. So there's nothing wrong with you. You need to look in the mirror and understand it is not I who is wrong. It is just the way other people work and the other way, like the way people function. There's nothing wrong with you. And you need to understand to put your best foot forward every day. You need to be surrounding yourself with good people. Like, when I'm feeling down, or like I'm not doing the right thing, I know who I could reach out to in my downline, because they're my friends. I've built a relationship with my team for this exact reason. You should be able to rely on somebody else. You are not in it alone ever. If you need advice, you need to speak to the right people, someone who's going to lift you up, someone who has the answers for certain questions. So I don't know where I was going at that point. Lost my train of thought there, but you need to talk to the right people. If you're getting frustrated that you're talking to all these people, because a lot of people feel like, okay, I'm talking to 100 people a day, but no one's following through. Then it's your wording. And you need to be speaking to your upline or someone who has been in this business that you know is successful. Like a bunch of my girls get frustrated. They're like, I sent out 80 messages today. I got 30 responses. Nobody followed through. I'm like, okay, send me screenshots. We'll walk through it together. You need to be hyped up about the product. I don't care if you don't use them, although you probably should because you want to have your own personal opinion. And we have over 50 products for you to find one that fits your lifestyle. Like these products help me lose 30 pounds, so weight loss is my way to go. That's what I post about. Other people, like my friends, love the hair, skin, and nails, so that's what their profile is about, and skincare. There is no right or wrong there. You just do what you love, and you need to find that. If it's confianza, go for it. Like, that's fine too, because when people see that you're passionate about something, it just comes off of you. It shines off of you, and they want to get on, like, whatever you're selling. So, I was going to say, I keep losing my train of thought. This is so bad. Okay. Right. That was the conversation. You need to be hyped up about it. And as simple as it is, throwing in 2 exclamation points and a smiley face, people feel more comfortable with you. If someone texts me and they're like, okay, can't wait to get you started, I'm like, first of all, am I talking to a robot? You need to understand that if you were the consumer, a girl texting you off of Instagram, and she was like, okay, can't wait, and like there was nothing there, I would be like, okay, never mind. We're just going to not do this anymore. You need to have an interaction with them and be comfortable with them. This is not just, you're not just doing it to make money. You're creating a lifestyle and you're helping other people create a lifestyle too. You want to be hype about that because it's such great things to be happy about. So enthusiasm, wording. If you need help with wording, talk to your upline because they are an upline for a reason. They were able to sign you up. Like there is all success there. Consistency. You need to, if what you're doing right now is not giving you the results that you want, double it. And I promise you will get the results. If you're sending out 50 messages and not getting the answers that you want, send out 100 and see how everything changes for you. It is a numbers game. You just have to keep going and you need to get out of your own way. That is the biggest thing. Like you cannot spend time feeling sorry for yourself when there's so much to do. And if you want something truly, you're going to go get it. So yeah. Just put your head down, work, and don't take no for an answer. Just keep going because there's 7 billion or 8 billion people in the world. One person telling you no is not going to like rain on your parade. And if it does, you got to self-develop and put that to the side and keep going.
And Gab, kind of go over like how you really only sell like big volume orders. Like you never rarely sell like 30s or anything like that. So can you kind of just talk about how you like upsell and why, like how you sell like big orders?
So I was on a Zoom probably, I don't know, like 7 months ago, and I don't even know who the leader was, but she was like, if you wake up every morning and tell yourself someone out there wants what I'm selling, you will sell to someone. If you wake up in the morning and say, oh, I don't really know like if somebody wants this or not, then nobody's going to. It is your confidence that is going to attract someone else. So I don't go with like when somebody tells me, okay, I want to lose 5 to 10 pounds. Theoretically speaking, they can use thermophyte, but I always start with thermophyte and greens because if they tell me 2 is too much, then we'll go with 1. You would rather start big and have someone tell you no so you have more to come down to. Because if you start small and they tell you no, then you have nowhere to go from there, like at all. It's also too, I was at Green Carpet over the summer and someone was saying like, one of the leaders on stage was like, okay, so a girl wanted to really buy hair, skin, and nails off of me. So the hair, skin, and nail pill obviously is going to help you grow your hair. But if someone's interested in it, maybe they're interested in skincare too. So ask people their goals. Like talk to them. They are real people. If they're interested in hair, skin, and nails, say, I know you're interested in growing your hair out, but like, did you have skincare goals too? Or did you have something else you were interested in? And 9 out of 10 times they're going to buy a second product. Like that is what happens because they feel like you're interacting with them and stuff. For keto and I think it was Gab Finelli that was like, if you're doing keto and greens and you start with keto greens and thermophyte, even if they tell you no for all of those, you're still walking away with 2 products. And then, the whole thing with getting the super food mocha bundle dream thing, whatever, at the end of the checkout. But you just need to like understand that our products, and if you don't know that the products work, you need to find one that you know will and that you're going to work with, because once you believe in something, it's so much easier to sell it. Like, I already know keto and greens is going to be great for anybody to drink for breakfast, and then I know thermophyte is going to be good when you go to the gym or with dinner. So it's easy for me to sell it that way because that's what I believe in. Find what you like and what you're attracted to and run with that, because you're going to come away with so many bigger orders. You won't need 9 30-volume orders a day. You're going to get those 3 big orders and say, okay, well, this is really good. Like, it's a good start to the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you went over this question in the chat. Did you? Because I just stepped away for a second.
What?
It says, do you ask for a budget? If so, how do you upsell if their budget is $40, for example?
Sorry, I don't even see the chat.
No, that's okay.
No, I never ask for a budget. So like what Sasha was saying, she asked for a budget. I do the opposite, because I don't want to give someone the option to tell me, well, my budget is $20. Because if someone asks me what my budget is, like, I'm in Double Diamond. Obviously, I make money with this company. If someone asks me what my budget is, I'm not going to say, like, oh, I could spend $200. Like, okay, keep it as cheap as possible, because we as humans want to be conservative and we want to, like, I don't know, save money. That's the thing. Unless they're the ones who are specifically reaching out to you, which 9 out of 10 times they're not, you want to keep it like, you don't want to give them the option. Start big, and if it doesn't work with their budget, then cut down on it. That's the way I work then. Like, you always give them multiple options. Because I just found, like, when I asked them their budget, they're like, oh, well, $30. And I'm like, well, you're not going to lose 50 pounds with $30. Like, that is not going to happen. So I just start big, and then I give them the option to tell me, no, I need to do less. And then that works too.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. You know, it just, you kind of just have to find what works for you. Like what Sasha was saying in the beginning, like, it took her so long to find out what worked for her, and kind of for me too. I feel like up until a year ago, like, I've kept the same wording. Like, I've kept the same scripts. Like, it took me almost like 3 years to find out what worked for me. So we all these leaders of mine have different tips, you know, kind of pick which one you want to go with. And it's going to be a trial and error, you know, but then you're going to find one script or one way to talk to people that works for you. And that's what's going to work. And that's what you're going to stick with. And that's what you're going to teach your team. So it's super important to stay consistent, guys. It's super important to not give up after you send out 10 messages. Okay. That's the biggest thing all of you guys were talking about tonight, is staying consistent. And just because, you know, you've had a couple of bad, what day is it today? 10 days of the month doesn't mean you're just going to have like the rest of the month bad. You know, you have to just keep going and put more effort in. And remember, guys, that I always I always say this business is kind of like a plant, because you're going to plant the seed, right? You're going to water it, and you're going to water it, and you're going to water it. Like, you're never going to plant a seed and it's going to grow overnight. You're going to plant the seed, you're going to water it, you're going to take care of it, you're going to nurture it. Like, you're not going to plant the seed and leave it there and expect it to grow into a beautiful flower, right? And that's the same thing with this business. You're going to plant your seeds, you're going to talk to people, you're going to nurture your customers, give them information, give them follow-ups to kind of look back at your page and say, oh, she's still following up with me, but she's still posting about these amazing products. Like, oh my gosh, like, I should just get started. You know, that's what this business is about. Like, you can't just send 10 messages out and be like, oh, great, now I can sit back, relax all month. Like, no, like, that's not how the business works. Like, you need to take care of it. And that is posting, messaging, following up, and posting, messaging, following new people. I love what Gabby said, new eyes is new money. And it's so true, because I remember, like, in the beginning of my business, like, I was like so consumed. Like, this is like, was like a month into my business. I was so consumed with posting, messaging new people, and just talking to people. I forgot to follow. Like, I remember, like, me and Cassie were kind of like in a competition, like who to follow more. And like, my followers were like at 300 and hers were like at 100. And she, like, a couple days in had like 500 and I was still at 300. I'm like, oh my God, she like surpassed me. And I felt like I wasn't enrolling a lot, but it's like so true, because I wasn't following new people. And the same people were seeing my stuff over and over again. When I like go on a mass following spree on my account for one day, like the next day I enroll so much. I feel like I did that yesterday. Today I've gotten 6 customers, and yesterday I just like was so consistent. Like every single time that I would remember to follow, I would go and follow a bunch of people on both of my accounts. And today I've gotten all these customers, and I would say 3 of them were from follow-ups and 3 of them were on the spot. So it's so important to follow up with people. Don't you dare talk to people and forget about them, because you're planting the seed and you're not watering it. So following up is taking care of your customers, and following up is watering that seed, because it's going to grow, and it's going to grow. Either they're going to ignore you, but they're going to watch your page, or they're going to enroll and the flower is going to be planted, and it's so important to just always think of the business like that, because it's not going to grow overnight, and it's going to grow over time if you're taking care of it. Not if you're sending out 10 messages and posting once a week and saying, great, I did what I had to do. That's not enough. Let me look at these questions here. What if we are following new people and unfollowing people but still can't get people to follow you? If you're following at least 100 people like every hour, you should get people to follow you. I follow about 500 people a day. Seems like a lot, but just sitting there, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I probably just followed like 300 people right now in this one sitting. You need to be consistent. How many people are you following? That's a thing too. You can't go in and follow 20 and then be like, oh, I didn't get any follow backs. Well, if you're following 20 people, probably none of those 20 are going to follow you back. If you're following 50, probably 2 will follow you back.
Nay, I broke it down for my team the other day too. If you take massive action, you're going to get massive results. You can't follow 20 people because those 20 people aren't going to follow you back. I'll tell you that much right now. If I follow 200 in the morning, I'll get 30 follow backs. That ratio, 200 to 30, so doing 20 does nothing. And it is so easy to follow, and it's fun too, because you're going in, you're seeing all these different profiles. It takes 3 seconds. Everybody goes to the bathroom at least 3 times a day, I hope. You have time to go in and follow somebody. And it's just easy. And you don't even realize how many you're clicking on until you see your following count go up so much, and you're like, okay, I gotta chill.
Or until it doesn't let you follow anymore, and you're like, oh crap, maybe I just followed.
Maybe I just followed 500 people. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, Karen, if you're following 200, I would up that number. I feel like is not enough. I follow 200 in 2 hours into my day. If I wake up 2 hours into my day, I already followed 200 people, because I do I try to pick a picture with 300 likes in it, and I'll definitely get to 100 girls in those 300 likes, and I'll follow. It's so important to just follow more and more people. So what I do is I follow all throughout the day, and I know everyone is so different. So I follow from the time I wake up at 9 a.m. for our power hours. And if you wake up earlier, even better. So I follow from 9 a.m. until about 10:30, because and this is my sleep schedule, okay? I know people go to work early the next day. I go to bed late, so then I unfollow at 12, because I stopped following at 10:30, because I want to give those people enough time to follow me back before I unfollow them at 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Let's see here, the other questions. I've had a lot of people say, okay, so Sarah, are people saying that in DM or when you're texting them?
It's when I'm texting them. So I've noticed lately, with my follow-ups, they're interested, and then a few days later, I'll follow up with them, and they'll say something like that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, is it okay to come back with hey, what's your budget? Even though they're kind of just telling you oh, I'm not interested, because I have no money. Okay, so make sure also you're following up with them the next day, because that's important. Don't wait a couple days. Do it the next day so it's fresh in their mind. And for me, for an example, actually, okay, I have a perfect conversation. I just helped this girl get started right now. Let me find the combo. Oh, here it is. Okay. So we were talking about, I asked, every time someone says weight loss to me, I always say, do you like coffee and chocolate? Because then I'm going to offer them coffee, chocolate, greens, and Thermofite. I always do that big order. It's 129 BV. It's huge. Almost fast starts one person. So I always do that.
they say weight loss. Then I say, awesome. Do you like coffee and chocolate? She's like, I don't like coffee, but I like chocolate. So if they don't like coffee, what I do is I do greens, thermophyte cleanse, which is 105 BV. No coffee, but they could have the option of the chocolate greens if they want to, but berry is better if it's without the chocolate, without the keto coffee. So then I send them the long script, and then they say, how much is it? And then I always send result pictures with pricing, because I feel like it kind of just seals the deal with pricing. Like, they see those result pictures, but they kind of overlook the pricing because they're like, wow, those results every penny. So I don't send result pictures with the descriptions, because I like to seal the deal with result pictures with the pricing. So I spam them with literally a bunch of result pictures, and then I send this big blurb of pricing. So she's like, how long does this deal last? And I say, when can you let me know? I don't say when the deal lasts, because I want to know when she's ready to order, but then I'm going to change things up a little bit. So she goes, I have so much Christmas stuff to buy for people. And I'm like, well, why? That was 3 products. So I said, why don't we get you started with 1 or 2 products right now? She goes, I can probably do that. Is this a month-to-month thing? And I explained it to her. And then we were kind of just talking. And then she said, I think I'm only going to get started with 1 product right now. Which one do you suggest? And I was like, well, actually, you can do 1 product a month for 3 months. And over the course, you can buy all 3 for the price of all 3 you're going to buy today. Because she just wasn't going to buy all 3 today. So I was like, well, 1 is better than none, because she was like, I'm going to let you know. And I'm like, no, you're going to order it tonight. So she's like, I'm going to think about it. And I was like, well, what's holding you back? You can get started with 1. You don't need to do all 3 today. And she was like, that makes sense. Which one do you suggest? So that's kind of what I do. And if I follow up with them tomorrow and they're like, oh, Christmas money, I say, okay, well, if you didn't do this, then you do it at this moment. You say, okay, so why don't we get you started with 1 product right now? And if you're only talking about 1 product, this is another thing. I told my distributor to do that. And she's like, well, she already told me she doesn't have the money for it. Well, ask again, because some people need to really process it. So if you're talking just about thermophyte, and she's like, well, Christmas right now, I need to save. Okay, so you can't swing, you can't order you don't have the $39 right now. Ask her again after she says that, if it's 1 product. And usually if they say no, then I say, okay, so when will you? So there's a couple options. You can say, when will you? You can offer the business, or you can do a host-to-post, where they can put up a post for you on their Facebook or their Instagram. You'll send them free product if you get customers reaching out to you from that post. So there's a couple different ways to go about it. But if I'm talking to someone about a couple products and they're saying, oh, Christmas, I don't have money right now, I say, okay, so let's get you started with 1. I don't even ask them, why don't we? I say, let's get you started with 1 right now. And after the holiday season is over, we'll add on the rest. How does that sound? And usually they're like, okay, that sounds great. So like I said, I would have gone a 105 BV order, but I got just greens, but it's still fine, because she was just going to think about it and then probably wasn't going to order tomorrow if I let her sleep on it, So those are kind of just 2 different ways you can go about it. Or you can even say, okay, she's like, oh, Christmas money. And then you're like, okay, so what's your budget right now? And we can kind of work around it. And that way I would probably do that if you want. So it's up to you. It's just trial and error. You have to just try a couple things till you find what works for you. So, babe, can you take her bed from her? She's chewing it up. I follow 100 people every time I send out 10 messages. Works perfectly. Perfect. That's awesome. I love that, because then you kind of remember, okay, I'm sending messages, I need to follow. Only 200 people follow me. I was trying to keep, you can keep your ratio even, but at this time right now, if you're at 200 followers, I was at 300, it was uneven, but because I had to build up my Instagram. So it's going to look uneven for a little bit, but you have to build it up and you have to follow people. So I've gotten a lot of people in DM and text saying they don't have the extra money because of holiday as well. Guys, it's just kind of mindset. I get a lot of people like that too, but you have to say, okay, so why don't we get you started with 1 product right now? Or have you ever thought about doing what I do for an extra income? If you have free product or samples at home, hey, would you mind putting up a post for me on your Facebook, tagging me? And if I get customers commenting saying they're interested, I'll send you some free product to try out. you have to just be creative. Like right now, I just had this girl, like I just read this conversation out to you guys. She was going to hold off and think about it and let me know tomorrow. And she was probably going to say, hey, I think I'm going to pass. But I was like, no, listen, like what's holding you back? You told me you want to lose weight. Is this not important to you? And she's like, no, it is. Like, I really want to try it, but money's tight. I'm like, okay, well, we don't have to do all three. I usually just offer all three so so you guys can have an option to pick. But why don't we get you started with one right now? And after the holidays, we'll add on the rest. And she was like, okay. So, oh my gosh. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So yeah, you kind of just have to be creative with what you're doing. Like you can't just be like, okay, you don't have money. All right, whatever. Like, yeah, you're going to hear that a lot, but today I enrolled 6 customers. Like it's not slow season. It's not, people aren't like broke. Trust me. Like you guys just have to have this mindset that right now is not, don't think of right now Christmas. Like really don't think of it as a holiday because people are still spending money. People are going to, actually right now is the biggest time of year where people go in debt because they're spending money on Christmas gifts. So they have money. They're kind of just choosing what to spend it on, but they still have the money. When people say they don't have money, I always offer the business. Yes. I always do that too. Or I say, when will you have the money? Or I do the host a post. So you can do one of 3. And if you don't know what a host post is or how to go into it, ask your upline and she'll help you with that. But only do host posts if you have a couple samples at home to send out to people, and if that's something you want to do, you don't have to. But I know a lot of leaders do and they get good results with it. So Christmas has been a big thing with me, and a lot of people say they can't right now. Well, you know what? Wording needs to change because a girl just told me right now Christmas was like holding her back from ordering, but she ordered. Her total came out to $40. She has the money. And I somehow made it important in her life that the greens were going to help her lose weight, and she needs to start right now instead of in the new year. So to me, Christmas isn't a big thing. Like I'm enrolling. My team is enrolling. I hear from a lot of my leaders and I see people enrolling. So I know that right now isn't like a huge burden. And if you make it in your head that right now, oh my God, Christmas is a big thing. People aren't ordering. People are going to spend money on Christmas gifts. Like, no, like people have the money and have that mindset that they will order from you and be positive about it, that it's not even going to be a thing anymore. So helpful with the Christmas thing. That's my biggest issue. If you are offering the biz, what is the best way to transition into that? Okay, so I would just say, have you ever thought about doing what I do for an extra income? And so if someone's saying like, oh, I'm broke, like, have you ever thought about doing what I do for an extra income? I was in the same position as you and I could never afford the things I wanted, only the things I needed to have. And I made a change. Are you interested in hearing more? You don't even have to make it that long. You can just say, have you ever thought about doing what I do for an extra income? I would love to give you info. What is your schedule like for the day to get all done? I just do it. I don't work on a schedule because I'm not like, I don't work with times just because I'm like never on time for anything. Like I feel like I can't function like on a schedule. So if you have a job, it's different, right? But for me, let's talk about when I had a job and right now when I'm a stay-at-home wrap girl, full time. So when I had a job and I was at school, I would wake up 30 minutes earlier than what I would usually wake up. And I would post, or I would get a post ready because it was too early at that time. I would follow people, I would message people, I would answer people that I fell asleep on, and then I would go on for the day. During my bathroom breaks, I would message real quick. I would follow. Like, you need to come up with a schedule that fits for you. But for me, I wake up at 9 a.m. for my power hours, and I will just, during that, I usually wake up to like 5 or 6 texts from either potentials or my team. I'll answer those. I'll go through. I'll start following people because I don't usually start messaging until like noon. So I have time to like kind of catch up on things. So I get my stories ready to go. I'm following people. I usually don't come up with a post. Like I just usually do that throughout the day. Like I wing my posts. Like it's not something I have to really plan. I just do it. And at 12 o'clock, I start messaging people, and I'm answering my messages. I am going back through my DMs and saying, did I catch you at the wrong time, to the people who saw my message and didn't answer, because it's super important to, hey, did I catch you at the wrong time? Because if you leave those people, they're just like, I've noticed a huge difference in my business when I go back through and I say, did I catch you at the wrong time to the people who saw my message and didn't answer? Even if I ask for their number or my initial DM, anything. And I just incorporate this business into my lifestyle. And before I was full-time at Works, I was busy. I feel like I'm even busy. Like I'm still busy, because when you have so much time, you just find things to do and people ask you for favors. So it's like, you're still so busy all the time. That's how I feel. Like the other day, like I woke up and I was like, it's 2:00. I'm like, where the hell did time go? Like, I was just on the go all day, but that's what's cool about this business is you can do it on the go. Like today I was on the go too. I had to stop by my house and I had to bring my dogs to the vet, and then I had to go to a carpet place, and all through that, I was still on my phone, working my business, answering my messages. Like, it's important that you guys incorporate this business into a lifestyle. Don't make a schedule for it because it's hard to stick to a schedule, and if you are that type of person that needs to say, okay, this, and this time I have to do this, and that every single day, perfect. I'm not. So I just incorporate it, and I'm like, I have the discipline enough to make this my priority. I mean, even before this business was like my full-time thing, I still made it a priority because I just wanted change so badly in my life. I made it a priority. Now it's do or die for me. If this business doesn't work, like this is my full-time thing. And if it doesn't work, it's because I'm not working it. So I make it a priority every single day, no matter what. If I have a headache, if I feel sick, I was on like my deathbed the month I was promoting for like a week. And I still like was working my business. Like, I think I called Sasha or I voice messaged one of the girls on my team and they're like, you sound like crap. Like you need some sleep, but I just make this a priority every single day because this is what has changed everything, not only for me, but for all of you. So this is my priority and will always be. So you have to just kind of incorporate it into your lifestyle every single day, no matter if you have kids, dogs, siblings you take care of, jobs, school, anything, because I can just look at this screen that I have up here with 20 people on here. I know already a few people who go to school, who do this full time, or who have kids, who have dogs, who babysit their siblings, who go to school full time, who are going for nursing school. Like we all do different things, but we're all here just working our business and just incorporating it into our busy lifestyle. And that's what's important about it. Let's see. I've gotten very few people tell me Christmas was a problem, and also got a 112 BB order today. Kaylee, you're amazing. Michelle said, I love how you are not taking no for an answer. Yes, I don't. Like, no matter what season it is, I don't take no for an answer. I'm very pushy, and you know what? Before I wasn't pushy and I would let people go. And then you know what? I would see them on my timeline posting about the products. And I'm like, oh, you ordered, not for me. Who'd you order from? They're like, oh, this girl followed up with me. She was super pushy and consistent about it. If you're not going to enroll that person, someone else will. I can 100% like tell you guys that. Do you have any tips for people who are doing this on the side? I personally work a retail job and want to learn the best way to balance both. Yeah, I was working 2 jobs and going to school full time when I started this business. Like I said, you have to just make little time for things. Like I woke up earlier while I would go to the bathroom at my salon job. I would send out a couple messages and follow a couple people and answer a couple texts. During my 30-minute lunch break, I wasn't taking a break. I was eating and on my phone. And like my phone was in my hand and my food was in the other hand. Like I just had no time to chit chat and gossip with my coworkers. I was just making money and working. Every 5-minute breaks or time that you have are so important in your business when you're working. So for me, like if I had 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, like when I got home from work, yeah, I was relaxing because I was laying on the couch, but I was still working my business. That's what's important is sometimes that people who work get home from work and they just, okay, putting my phone down for the night, I'm done. If you really want to make huge changes in this business, you have to, like when you have like breaks or when you're getting home from work, like have your phone in your hand, answer a couple messages. Yeah, take a break for a little bit, but don't put your phone down for the night if you're home at 5 p.m. We still have so many hours of the day where we can still be working our business. So that for me, Kathleen, was what was important for me, like those little breaks that I had. And during those little breaks that I had basically in my life with work and school, I would do income producing activities. I wasn't scrolling on social media. I wasn't just creeping on what Anna was doing yesterday at the bar. Like I was working my business. Like that's what's important. And I know we all have breaks like in life, because I know when I was working 2 jobs, I would work at the hair salon and then go into my waitressing job that same day. And when I wasn't doing my jobs, I was at school. So for me at school, I would wake up earlier. I would head over to school as I'm walking to class. I'm texting, I'm following up, answering some texts as I'm sitting at my desk waiting for the professor to walk in. He's always late. I'm always working my business. Once he gets into class, you choose whether or not you're going to be on your phone. I always was. When I left class, I was walking to my next class, working my business, okay? When I had my 3-hour break, I had some homework to get done. I would get my homework done, get it out of the way, and then be on my phone working my business. Like you just kind of have to fit this business into your lifestyle. Like I can tell you, like 90% of my team works a full-time job or goes to school full-time and does this, So if anyone has any like tips that you guys want to just share for those who are in school full-time or whatever, unmute yourselves, because it's important for people to hear who now have a full-time job or go to school full-time to know how to incorporate this business into their lifestyle.
So I don't know if anybody else goes to school full-time or like however many people do, but I'm in my senior year of nursing school right now. So a typical week, I have classes 5 days a week. I have clinicals that are from 6:30 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon. I have tons of homework all the time, but like you have done it. Like this morning I had a final. Okay, so if I know that before my final, I was on my phone, I was talking to my girls, I was sending out messages because I knew that for 3 hours today, I wasn't going to be able to be on my phone. And I still enrolled today, and I still was able to do what I had to because I took the time out and I took 15 extra minutes this morning to send out messages. It is not that hard to wake up 15 minutes earlier than you need to. And if that is hard for you, like we got to get that energy going and like, I don't know, take some keto energy because 15 minutes is not going to make or break it. You got to wake up earlier and send out messages. It is hard going to school. I will be the first one to say that. And there's a lot of times that you get home at like 10 o'clock at night, you have a ton of homework to do and you are so behind on everything from the day. But like I was saying before, if you go to the bathroom 3 times a day, you have 3 times a day to send out messages. This does not need, so many people come into this business and they're like, well, I don't have time. You do have time. Because if you have time to be on your phone and texting people, you have time to be making money from your phone. It is just how you fit it in and like incorporate it. You're just talking to new people daily. So it kind of like, it takes a little bit in the beginning to like make it go smoothly, but you definitely will be able to. If all of us could do it, there's no stopping one other person from doing it.
Yeah, I love that. And I remember when I was in school full-time and working, like I was still on my phone talking to people. I was still on my phone creeping on Instagram. So when you switch out those non-income producing activities to income producing activities, like you'll see a huge difference, like it's like I literally will leave my house and I won't see ever one person that's not on their phone, whether they're walking in the mall or whether they're walking on the streets or whether they're walking their dog. Like everyone now in 2018 has a phone and is on it 24/7. Okay. And if you're not on it 24/7, you're on it a couple times a day, right? Either checking in with your parents, texting your friends, texting your colleagues, like texting your coworkers, like you're on your phone. So instead of doing things that are not income producing, like creeping Instagram, creeping Facebook, posting on Snapchats, like do things for this business that will produce income, right? It's literally that simple. And I love what Gabby said. People think that they have to come into this business and work this 10 hours a day. No, you don't. Because when I joined, I was able to work this business literally in 5-minute increments. And when I say that, it's like during my breaks at work, during my bathroom breaks, I'd be like serving people. I would take their order, put their drinks in, and I'd have like 2 minutes to like breathe. So I would go on my phone real quick, answer, go back, like that's what you have to do is you have to work around your busy schedule. And just like I said, incorporate it into your lifestyle. It's simple, and it takes 21 days to make this a habit. And if you do, you're just going to kind of like wake up and like be a robot to this business and like know that you have to do certain things and just do it. So let's see. I was talking to a potential ready to buy products. I told her pricing. She stopped replying. The next day she posted a picture and I left a comment, and a minute later she texted me saying she's ready to buy Fat Fighters. I love that. Interacting is so important too, like liking pictures, commenting. I love that. That's so awesome. I need to learn how to be pushy and not sound mean at the same time. Well, that, Kayla, I would talk with your upline, because it depends on every different situation. Like, okay, someone's like, oh, right now is not a good time. Oh, why not? Oh, what's holding you back? That's what I say. I literally asked them a question like, oh, why? I think it was Ashley yesterday. I don't know if she's on the Zoom. She sent me a screenshot and it was like someone was asking her, like, it's saying it's not a good time. I was like, and then she's like, what do I say? I go, oh, why? She goes, I love how you make it so simple. Literally though, like I'm asking, why is it not a good time? Like, what's holding you back from ordering right now? Like when people tell me, they'll think about it. Oh, what's holding you back? You were so interested 2 minutes ago. Like, what changed your mind? Oh, when I send someone directions and they're like, oh, never mind. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you told me you were ready to order a minute ago. Like, what made you change your mind? And then I like to know what's holding them back so I can come in and say, and come in with like a perspective of like, oh, well, you know, you think the coffee's too expensive, but do you drink Starbucks? Usually they're like, yeah, every day. I'm like, girl, our keto coffee is $78. If you divide that by 30, that's $2.60 a day for a fat burning coffee that's going to help you lose weight, keep you focused, and it's going to be a meal replacement. And you're going to go out to Starbucks and spend $5 or more on a cup of fattening Starbucks that's just going to make you gain weight and going to have you crash. So I always put things into perspective for people, and I always find out why, like what's holding them back from either joining my business or buying products from me. Could we do another Zoom call about, oh, and then never mind. Perfect. I'm sure Gabby answered that for you. What is the best way to keep up with follow-ups? For me, I have a planner. I keep it very simple. When I go to bed tonight, before I go to bed, I'm going to take out my planner and I'm going to go through my texts today of everyone that stopped answering me, and I'm going to write their name down, and tomorrow I'm going to follow up with them. And I do that every single day. And then on Friday, I go back through and I follow up with everyone from the week. Let's see. Such a good meeting. I had to head out, but I have learned so much. What do you guys comment on someone's pick that you don't know? I just compliment people. I keep it simple and just compliment them. If they're wearing a cute bathing suit, if they're wearing cute jeans, like ask where it's from. I don't know. Just compliment people and be nice. I always made my posts and captions and love my Captivate the night before, and always message people. Yeah. See, I love that. Like you make your post the night before you're like, everyone's on their phone, like literally the 10 minutes before they go to bed, like scrolling, kind of just like, you know, getting ready to go to bed. Make your post the night before. I would do that too, right? Like when I was working, going to school, I would have my post ready the night before with captions, so I can just go into my notes and just post it without having to think of something or type something out or find something. I would always have it stored the night before. I didn't have Captivate at the time. But yeah, you load up Captivate the night before. If you use Captivate, you do that. If you don't, you just follow when you get the chance automatically. Yeah, you save them in drafts. Like if you go to post something and you press like cancel, it's going to say save in drafts. It'll save with the picture and the caption just so you can just post that way. It's simple. So you guys just have to find little niches that will save you time during the day if you're busy, if you're going to school, if you're working, you know, even if you are full-time, you know, sometimes full-time, like I find myself doing things that are just consuming, and then I'm like, oh my God, I have to answer my text. You know, I'm usually not like that. I'm usually like really on top of it, but sometimes my dogs will be like crazy, and then it's like I'm taking care of them and it's like, okay, I haven't looked at my phone in like 20 minutes, you know, but you just have to have self-discipline to stay on top of it and work your business. Does anyone use a Connect app to follow up? There's actually a video, Kayla, on the Diamond Tribe or our Be Obsessed or Be Average page that Laura did to follow up if you're wondering how to use it. Yeah, she did like a whole like video tutorial on how to use it. What is the best way to change up the life post? I feel very repetitive. I mean, do now hiring posts. If you don't know what that is, go to either my page or your upline's page. I'm sure she has now hiring posts as well. I mean, a life post will be repetitive. It's going to be your story, why you joined, what it's done for you. If it hasn't done anything for you, you're going to talk about what the business is doing for you. It's going to be repetitive, but that's what sticks in people's minds. Repetition, being consistent. So that's what's important about staying repetitive, because you do want people to see that over and over again, and for it to be an alarm clock, and they're going to be like, okay, enough is enough. Like, I'm ready to just make a change now. This girl won't stop posting about the same things over and over again. Let's see. Oh, you're just wondering if anyone else used it. But yeah, if you guys don't have any more questions, because I don't see anything in the chat right now, I always talk about the things I was embarrassed about because it's relatable. Yes, you always want to talk about what you couldn't do, like before the business, because people are going to relate. Some people say, "Oh man, you're going to sign up so many distributors because of where you are." Guys, people can't relate with what I'm doing right now, okay? Some people can't relate with buying a brand new car. Some people can't relate with buying debt, paying off debt. Like, people are going to relate more to little things than they are to big things until they get to a place where they are successful, okay? So you want to post about, like, I always post about, I joined this business because I couldn't make my car payment. I joined this business because I needed gas in my car. I joined this business because I couldn't go out to eat. You know, like, I do post about the big things I've done, but I also post a lot more about the little things, why I wanted to join this business, because people relate to that more than they do to success. It's sad. People relate to, like, more little things and, like, struggle more than they do to success. But that's what will catch people's attention to your posts. I got my first ET today, and I want to lead her the best I can. I'm still new. I would just reach out to your upline so she can help you one-on-one. You know, when my girls are struggling with how to enroll, I literally walk them through one-on-one, you know, and ask them for help on how to train them, because you also, like you said, you don't want to scare her. What I do is I obviously I go into, it's going to be long, but if you want to text me, you could. But I go and tag them in 2 videos in the page, and I walk them. Once they're done with the videos, I go through step by step on the next couple things that I want to teach them to do, being too overwhelming. I would definitely reach out to your upline to help you, and she can help you with those one-on-one things, so you can really get down pat what you need to be, so you can just teach them what you do, because that's really what we're doing, is just teaching new distributors to do what we already do to become successful. All right, I don't want to make this any longer. It already has been. So if you guys have any question, reach out to your uplines. That's what we're here for, guys. Like, we sign you up and we're here to help you. We don't want you to sign up and just go off and do your own thing. Like, always reach out to your upline for help, and always, like, ask them for what they're doing or how they're enrolling. Like, they're going to give you the information, and they're going to be there to help you through anything that's going on. So next Monday night, we're going to have a Zoom about something else, and we're going to be talking about different things every week, just to kind of touch base on, like, different topics to help everyone just end this year strong. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning on the Power Hour, if you guys can get on at 9 a.m. And next Monday at 9 p.m. at the same time, we'll be having a different Zoom of a different conversation. So I'll see you guys